definitely, I feel for the families, but I think quite a few of us saw it coming, right?
Yeah,
Like, not knocking anyone, but it was definitely, it's been a struggle for years. Even, a year before I left, we were on edge getting, people get fired left, right, and center. It wasn't a very good feeling, but definitely a little bit nicer now, traveling the world. It's not all fun and games, but there's definitely some perks to working online. You were
absolutely.
all over Europe here not too long ago.
Yeah, we just got back not too long ago. We went to Europe for that was the fourth time, I guess, in a row, so the fourth year in a row. Did Croatia and Montenegro, did Yacht Week, and did Albania, which was a little bit strange, but we decided to try it out. And then
Interesting.
we were to Paris. It was good. It
Beautiful.
was all good,
What
man. It was all good.
what brought you to Albania? I got to ask.
Honestly, I saw a Facebook video and it was just pumping up Albania, and then I started looking into it, and it was saying it was one of Europe's best kept secrets. So
Crazy.
I was like, we got to check this spot out. It's supposed to be kind of untouched and not as Americanized or touristy as a lot of the other spots in Europe. So we went there. It was good. It wasn't exactly what was advertised, but it was an experience, that's for sure.
A little bit hyped up.
A little bit, yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Well, it's good to check it out, try new things.
Yeah,
Definitely,
it's good.
we've been on some pretty crazy paths and met some interesting people along the way. Little history lesson for everybody watching on Facebook is Garrett actually introduced me to, like I said, marketing online back when we started with Global Affiliate Zone. Coming up on 4 years ago now, so time definitely moves fast, but it really blows me away at how far things have really come. I know when we first started, there was a lot of trial and error. Whereas
Yeah,
now with what we have, it's just, perfectly like paved to
yeah,
really walk people step by step through the process, through learning, giving them the tools and strategies they need to succeed.
yeah, exactly. If I had the type of training that's available now with like Affiliate Institute, I would have been so much further down the road right now than I am. Um, just because I wouldn't have had to learn from YouTube videos and try and decipher between, the crap and the good stuff and what was actually working. And then, like you said, a lot of trial and error, a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted money. And I mean, it was just, there wasn't that level of training really anywhere at that point. I mean, that long ago, it was fairly new. It was kind of like the wild, wild west. I mean, and there was just, compliance was non-existent. Facebook was basically a free for all. So it was a different time for sure. And people were just trying to figure it out. And myself being one of them, and you as well. So it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of mistakes and learning. So it was good, but things
Absolutely.
have definitely come a long, long way.
Full circle. I remember, just figuring out how to keep a ad account from getting shut down, and
Yeah, yeah.
definitely learned a lot. Like, it feels like a lifetime ago. I don't know about you, but like I
Oh, it
was
does.
watching,
Yeah.
actually I had some memories come up from our Vancouver event, and that
Oh,
was
yeah.
2 years ago, I do believe, here just last month, something like that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was like, oh, big old picture of me arm around Cameron George. I don't think I was very sober at that point, but it's great memories for sure. That's
Yeah, that was a good event. Yeah, man, it feels like a long, long time ago, but crazy.
absolutely. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with Cameron George, he is the founder of Affiliate Institute. So that's where we got our training from. Uh, just an absolute wealth of knowledge, top-notch guy. It blew me away. I accidentally sent a few messages out, like straight up unintentionally. There was a software involved. Hopefully Facebook's not watching too much, but amazingly enough, Cameron got one of those messages and hit me up within, 10, 15 minutes, very friendly. Like,
Really?
yeah, so
Wow.
that just to me screams a lot, right? Like, typically, especially with the way that we came through, to get through to those top level guys, you have to have a pretty strong relationship with them to get a response within 3, 4, 5 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really got that family feel, as well as, for the training I paid for back in the day, it was 15,000 a year compared to what we get now for, $100 a month is, it's phenomenal. Like,
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's crazy. I'll touch on that quickly because,
sure.
but coming from the GAZ days, and we made that work, and it did work. It worked well for a while, but then it just didn't quite evolve, I guess, with the industry, and kind of keep up with the trends. So a lot of the training became kind of obsolete. It wasn't effective anymore, which is when Cameron decided to step in. He saw that there was a huge gap, and there was a lot of potential, and he knew that there was this hole that needed to be filled with high level training, stuff that was understandable. And Cameron is like one of the people that can break things down and explain it, and simplify things really easily. So jumping in and being hands on with AI and actually taking the lead, and being CEO of the company, and making sure that he is present in most of the decisions that happen and the training that goes on, is huge, man. It's huge. He literally took it in as his baby, and I don't know how often that guy fails at much of anything, honestly. So the company is only in its infancy, and it's blown up already, and it's going to continue. Cameron hasn't even barely scratched the surface. I guarantee it. Last time I spoke to him, he's like, man, there's so much stuff in there that we haven't even began yet. And he's like, we just need to, take it slow so we don't blow people's minds.
Absolutely. It's been a phenomenal experience. I know, like, I just, for the sake of learning all what's involved so that we can share it with people, dove through every single section, everything I could find, just really familiarize myself, even though some of it, we've been through years ago and time again. It's good to review and see how things have changed. It's been an absolutely phenomenal experience. Like, a lot of the emails keep you really engaged, really good content. The training itself answers a lot of questions that we had to really figure out on our own back in the day. I say back in the day, even just 2-3 years ago, where you'd be diving through books or spending thousands of dollars on training just to get a fraction of what you really needed to fill that gap. So
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
really impressed with the amount of value that came through, as well as how it was explained too. So I did see Alicia had a section there, killing it on Instagram. Good.
Yeah.
Definitely did a great job. But I
He did really well.
figured I'd let you explain kind of where they're taking things in the future too. I know you said we were just getting started, but they've got some pretty big things planned.
Yeah. There's some really big plans. I mean, there's stuff that they don't really even tell me, that they just have with their corporate meetings. They just basically say, like, just wait. Just, there's going to be some crazy things coming. So I know some of the details. Basically, the whole idea with Affiliate Institute is to just have an education that's like a strictly education-based platform that's not out there anymore. That teaches people to be, the most compliant, the best educated, and best paid affiliate marketers in the world. And there's no doubt that that's going to happen, especially with the team that's leading it with Cameron and Joe. Joe is basically Cam's right-hand man. He's the one who basically he's putting a lot of this stuff together. Cam's more of the idea guy. But yeah, the whole idea is to have from start to finish, bring someone in as if they're a complete beginner, being able to learn copywriting and learn all of the principles needed, so that you can promote whatever you want if you have a current business or if you don't have a current business. This will teach you, copywriting. It will teach you a business basic skills, right, that you would need if you were becoming self-employed or a business owner. A lot of shit that you don't see anywhere else. Like, people don't talk about that stuff. People don't talk about finances and learning how to budget. I wish that I knew how to budget when I started this business, because I would have a lot more money in the bank. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff is super important. And it's just, these are the principles that people need to really hone in and get a good understanding of if they want to build a business from 6 figures to 7 figures. or from 0 to 6 figures and then to 7 figures. So it's designed literally to have beginner level people who want to take it a step further. They can. It's going to be a little more advanced, and then from there more advanced, and then from there it's going to be like a very an exclusive group of people. I should say people that are at that level that want to be 7-figure CEOs essentially. So there's going to be Cameron sharing stuff like he's started multiple 7-figure businesses now. He has multiple 7-figure businesses right now. He's 31 years old. And so he's been doing this for a while, and he's just been like, everything he touches turns to gold, it seems like. So he's going to finally share a lot of the stuff that people don't even know. And he said, this is the place and the platform for him to actually, come out and share a lot of the tactics and strategies that has led him to building all of these successful companies. So it's going to be there for the taking for anybody who's within Affiliate Institute. And Cameron doesn't want to be mediocre or second best. So it's he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure this is the best educational platform there is. So one of the big things that they're aiming towards, which they're working on now, there's a lot of hoops to jump through, but they want the education to be accredited. So once Affiliate Institute becomes accredited, these are actually accredited courses you can take, meaning people can get grants and loans and things like that from the government to pay for this stuff. This would be an actual education. There's already certifications and everything when you're going from level 1, level 2, and all that stuff. But to be officially accredited, it is a process, but they're working on it as we speak. So it could take some time, but that's the end goal. And it's going to be, once that happens, it opens up a whole new realm of opportunities. So I'm super stoked for that. I'm just stoked to be on the ride right now.
Absolutely, man. I've had a really good feeling like that moving forward. I'm not sure how big of a fan of the traditional school system you are, but for me, it was just stepping stone to the next best thing, right? So even I've got my 3rd class power engineering, was working on my 2nd. There's chances I'll never use it again. That's where people working online, it's an exploding industry. So it's not just product sales, right? This is something that you can use as a yoga instructor. You can use if you're selling snow cones to snowmen, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing online. It's about those same communication processes, getting in touch with people, establishing those relationships, and bringing solutions to the table, right? So it's not just selling products or those cheesy infomercials that we grew up watching as a kid, right? Like,
Yeah.
no one wants to be that guy, right?
Yeah.
We want to actually bring value to the world, but that's where you got to start with education, right? Knowing those steps forward it's huge. I don't know how many
Exactly.
tens of thousands of dollars I wasted. Well, wasted. It was invested in my learning, but that we have videos, like a series, just a library of content that you can watch and learn and apply instantly and see immediate results, right? Like, that's the power of these books. Like, you've got a lifetime of experience jammed into not even a book anymore, a video,
Yeah.
a few hours worth of training, and that's someone's masterpiece, right? So that's where that learning curve is just
Exactly. Yeah.
tremendous. But the distance that we can go, like, I don't even recognize who I was a year ago, never mind 2, 3, 4 years ago, and it feels like 15 years, swear. Like,
Yeah. I know what you mean.
like, I just looking back on that, it's tremendous, right? So the amount that you can actually get done in a day it blows your mind. The amount that you can grow as a person and just keep evolving into a new you, it is huge, right? So that's one thing I wanted to touch on tonight, is surrounding yourself with people that have results that you're looking for, right? So back in the day, 4 years ago, I seen a video about Garrett talking about living in the oil field and getting away from it, right? So myself, I was looking to escape from the oil field. I had reached the pinnacle of my career at 27 years old, and got tired of being told that if I didn't, shut my mouth and be happy I was getting paid, that I was getting fired, right? So it's like there's got to be a better way. So come, from those roots of really, grinding things out in the oil field, we thought that it was going to be an easy ride starting online, right? So there was a lot of people that they saw a tremendous success, and then it fell off, and a lot of them have had to go back to the 9 to 5 grind. That's where, these guys come in, Cam, myself, Garrett, Brody, and made sure that we've got everything we need for sustainable and repeatable development and growth, right? Like it's great to, have that 10, 20, $30,000 a month, but if it only happens once every 3 years, you're not doing so good.
Yeah, exactly. And just to go back a little bit, when you had mentioned, the education and where it's headed, this is one common misconception, I think, is that people think this is, like you said, you need to be selling products and pushing products online or recruiting a bunch of people. But like the digital marketing skill set is one of the most important skill sets there are to learn in this day and age. Whether you have a brick and mortar business, if you're not taking advantage of digital marketing right now, you're losing out on a lot of money every single day. So, I mean, this can teach people literally, if it doesn't matter if you are an expert, you have your own products, you have a brick and mortar business, just the skills and learning the principles of digital marketing. If you get that dialed in and you know digital marketing and sales, you can write your own paycheck for life. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that as well.
Absolutely.
And yeah, to also touch on how far we've come and how far things have come. And it's been, I mean, relatively short period of time. I mean, it feels like forever, but yeah, I mean, coming from the oil field and going through the same thing that you were going through, I was also kind of had my journeyman ticket when I was 20 some years old. And that was pretty much my peak, and flying back and forth up north. And that was like the dream when I was younger, and then it just got super old. Right. So that's when I decided to start with the online marketing, and that's kind of when we met and all that good stuff. So it's just been a wild journey from there, and it continues to get better and better. And yeah, as far as the sustainability goes, like the thing with marketing and business in general, but I would say more so marketing, just because things like Facebook and social media changes so quickly and so often, that being able to adapt and stay on top of things is more important than ever. And the AI training is like, it's constantly updated, bringing in the best, most relevant trainers that we can find today. Not somebody who used to be successful but doesn't have results anymore. People who are actually showing what's working right now, and how you can get results today. Not a strategy that worked 10 years ago. That's completely obsolete now.
Absolutely. Well, it comes with surrounding yourself with people that have those results and that knowledge. Like it's an amazingly huge arena nowadays trying to pay attention to everything, right? Like YouTube,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, plus new and emerging social medias. I'm testing out a
Uh,
couple. It's hard to stay on top of everything. So that's where, have someone like Alicia, badass Instagram marketer. Myself, I'm more on Facebook. We've got guys on YouTube. I'm not sure what your main platform is now, Garrett. I know
Primarily Facebook, still sticking with Facebook.
yeah.
I still find the best results with Facebook, and I really like I just like how easy it is to really specifically target your audience on Facebook. I think that's kind of what really draws me to it. But
Almost like it was designed that way.
yeah, can be branching out a little bit. Just started dabbling in LinkedIn, so we'll see how that goes. A little bit more organic traffic, and then from there I'll go to YouTube. YouTube apparently is getting cheaper lead costs than Facebook at the moment, but it's a little bit more difficult to get that dialed in. But yeah,
Yeah,
surrounding yourself with people that have the results, man, that's super, super important. It's why I've gone to events like for the last 3.5 years, gone to events consistently. We haven't booked it yet, but we're going to another event in Hawaii in April. So it's a little ways away, but that's going to be a good one. Just primarily to get around the people that are killing it, to be able to, get around Cam. Cam, him and I snowboard a lot together. So I try not to, once I am with him, I know I need to fight the urge to just start like picking his brain and asking him a bunch of questions because I'm sure he gets sick of that. So, but yeah, I mean, being able to be in that atmosphere and that environment with people that you look up to and people that have been absolutely killing it. I mean, nothing beats it. Nothing beats that. And it's definitely a recipe for success if you're making the effort to actually be around those types of people.
Absolutely. I don't that it sticks out in my mind to this day, the events that we went to, even the like the first one up in Edmonton. It wasn't even like an official event or anything. It was a lot of just the community that wanted to get connected together, get to know each other better.
Yeah.
And a lot of those relationships, like that's where I met Brody, who he's not on tonight, unfortunately, but founder of Simple as well,
Yeah.
among other people like Natasha and Graham. There's a bunch of people that we, stumble. I was talking with Brian Hodgson here not that long ago, a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like still in those circles and those people, like obviously they filter out, but a lot of those relationships keep going and you keep building
Oh,
them.
absolutely. Yeah.
Might be a year. I'm not sure how. I took off for a little while, got focused on crypto, but there, you come back and meet up. You stay along those same paths, that
Yeah.
same vibration, right? So the big thing for me too is the accountability, right? Like there's
Oh, yeah.
days
It's huge.
where it's just not working, you're fighting by yourself, even just having someone else that's, grinding through the dishes with you and then having a small win, that's just it rekindles that energy, right? And that's, I
Absolutely.
find, a big part of it. It's like having a discussion with anyone. If you're really like angry and grumpy and closed off, you're not going to have nearly as nice of a conversation as if you're cheerful and full of energy, bring that abundance to the table.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a big part of like the most enjoyable part, I should say. Like,
Yeah, it's huge, man. I mean, a lot of the friends that I have made through, this online community and through online marketing and just marketing in general are some of my best friends now. I mean, I hang out with them a lot. They're people I spend the most time with. They're on the same page. They're supportive. They get it. You know what I mean? So it's been awesome. And I mean, a lot of the people and friendships that I've made and the connections I've made and mentorship that I've had are not even people that I need to be with in person. So, I mean, you don't need to have your mentors all, people that you see in person on a regular basis. I mean, you can have mentors that you just follow their stuff on Instagram, like Gary Vaynerchuk, for example. If you're following him and listening to his stuff and his advice, I mean, that's mentorship. Maybe you're not seeing him personally or talking to him personally, but it's still a form of mentorship. And a lot of the friends that I've made and connections, a lot of them I didn't even meet for like 8, 9 months after we first started chatting, and stayed in contact with them. And they've been, some really good friends, and we stay in contact still. So um, with AI too, like if you're in the Facebook group and all that stuff and they do live training all the time, like you're communicating with a lot of these leaders all the time and people that have these results. So they are accessible. It's not like you need to, fly and go to their house to, ask them a question. So that's, I
no,
guess, the power of, technology now too, that's actually a possibility.
absolutely. Like I was saying earlier, like I accidentally sent a
Yeah.
message to Cam. Like I wouldn't have ever sent that message that way. Like I would obviously say hi to him, but not the way that message was structured. And it was, really quick, swift response, right? So that family feel goes a real long way. So,
Oh yeah, huge.
growing up playing sports or whatever, like you build those relationships with those guys, gals, uh, and it lasts forever, man. Like
Yeah, yeah.
some of the most enjoyable moments. Like there's always good wins, making big months, big milestones, but I find it comes back to those relationships built along the way, and then you never know really how that's going to like evolve, right? As
Yeah,
AI
yeah.
turned into AI, and I never thought that we'd be working as close to Cam or some of the other coaches involved on nearly as much of a personal level, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just an amazing amount of information and guidance. Like it's not just information. It's not like an over like it can be a little bit overwhelming, obviously. take your time step by step, ask lots of questions, but it's structured in a way so that it nurtures you through the process. And there's quizzes and stuff to make sure that you get it. You actually have to go through the sections to proceed moving forward, whereas when
Yeah.
I first started out, it was like, get through there,
Yeah.
if you didn't hustle your bust your ass off basically and get those results, you just got left behind, really. And it was no one's fault. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just, we were all figuring it out, right? Like, it's
That was that was an awesome addition. I really liked the competency exams after every course and module, because like you had said, man, there was people, me included, that would just rip through a video. I probably was on my phone through 75% of it, and scrolling through Instagram or something, and then I move on to the next video, and then I can't figure out why nothing's working, or I get stuck at a point and don't figure out that it was clear, it was explained clearly in the videos, right? So I mean, now at least through the training, it actually, it forces people to pay attention, to take notes, to absorb a lot of the information, because you're tested on it, and you can't move on until you actually complete that and pass. So yeah, I was stoked. That was a big thing that we really were pushing for when they were developing AI, and yeah, it turned out really well. So it's good.
absolutely. Yeah, again, really impressed. Not pitching anyone, but we do try and keep this to half an hour. Garett, was there anything you wanted to touch on, share with everyone that maybe made a big impact? Leave that up to you.
I would say, for the people who are maybe newer to the industry, or people that have been considering this industry, that type of thing, and they're being held back by some of their limiting beliefs, and by the friendships in the circle that they're in, or their family, or their coworkers. Because I don't know about you, but when I initially started this, one thing that really held me back was coworkers not believing in the process, not believing in the industry, thinking it was bullshit, thinking that earning an income online was only reserved for people who had some sort of like education and computer science or something, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that I let that hold me back, and keep me from pushing forward for quite a while, honestly. And it definitely stunted my progress initially, but I mean, now who's laughing? I mean, honestly, it was just now people are literally starting to realize that, like, hey, you would be, no, I wouldn't say stupid, but I mean, to not actually take advantage of some sort of online marketing or side hustle. I mean, I feel like everybody nowadays is looking for some sort of side hustle to supplement their income initially, right? And then if it goes bigger than that, then great. But everybody's looking for a different side hustle now, and it's only a matter of time before it becomes widely accepted, and there's no criticism. And so my advice to people who are just getting started is to, think about, the future, and small short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. The people that, are holding you back, they don't know you anything, and you don't know them anything. So just keep doing you. And I wish I would have taken that advice earlier.
Beautiful. That's absolutely, man. Uh, the one other thing that I did want to touch on, I've kind of skipped over we talked about finances. One of the big, things that hold people back is they think it's really expensive to start a business, right? Like they're thinking, traditional business where it's like 50 or 100 or 200 grand to get
Yeah.
started. Well, it's not the case. You can get started for a few $100s. You keep going. Obviously, there's additional costs and things going with it, but the benefits are instant. So that's one thing that AI does touch on, is the finance. Well, a lot of that, like basically it can come out of your taxes, right? If you do it right. Obviously this isn't financial advice. Talk to an accountant. Your laptop, some of your travel expenses, your camera, stuff for shooting videos and stuff. Like I've built a life around the lifestyle marketing, so that I can do what I love to do and not have to dig out of pocket to do it and then pay taxes. And you left there
Absolutely.
scratching
Yeah.
my head, like, what happened to that money I just earned,
Ad
right?
expenses, marketing, 100% write off, which is which is amazing. I mean, it's just investing into advertising and growing your business is one of the best investments because it's 100% write-off. So you're getting a tax break and you're continuing to build and grow your business. So it's a win-win. So, I mean, yeah, I love that side of things. And I'm super glad that they actually started finally sharing the benefits of that within AI, because I mean, in GAZ, there was nothing like that. And people just didn't even understand, even just the tax breaks alone of being a business owner, I mean, are worth being a business owner, even if you're not even earning an income. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's
Absolutely.
crazy.
I actually was able, like when I was working up north in camp, third class power engineer, multiple six-figure income, I was able to cut my taxes back by 38% with my
Oh,
rec,
wow.
right? So it's like that is a sizable portion that you can invest into your future. Like, the hot topic was RRSPs, up north, it's like, man, you're banking on something like a future that you think you want in 40 years. I don't even
Yeah.
know who I was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea who I'm going to be in 5 years. How do I know that that's the retirement I want, right? Like, sit
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
beach and, I'd be bored out of my mind. I can do the
Yeah.
beach for an afternoon, but, unless I'm kite surfing or fishing or something like that, yeah, I get
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little
Yeah. I
OCD
hear
like
you.
that, attention span of a squirrel. But oh, it's been amazing, Garrett. Thank you so much for hopping on.
No worries, man.
Got any
My pleasure.
quick closing words for everybody? Just I did pop a little link in the comments section, so grab your AI playbook. Uh, Affiliate playbook. It gives a nice breakdown of what we're working with, a little introduction, as well as an invitation to our workshop with Cameron George, some of the coaches, Julian Sherman. Changes every once in a while, but definitely don't hesitate to get involved. If you have any questions, hit me up, hit Garrett up. We're on the same team, so no worries there. But yeah, absolutely, Garrett. Hey, man, have fun snowboarding this year. I'm jealous. Kelowna
Can't
is
wait.
absolutely beautiful. I imagine all the trees are changing color and all that fun stuff.
Oh
They're
yeah.
gone. The leaves are probably gone. I'm way late.
Yeah. 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 They're
But
pretty much all gone now, man.
well, hey,
It's
just the
almost
turning of
winter.
the seasons, right? You got
Yeah.
to like turning the page in a book, right? So
Exactly. I'm
absolutely.
looking
Well,
forward to
thanks
it.
again for hopping on. Let's do this again soon. Definitely a lot of
Absolutely,
fun.
dude.
And yeah, keep hustling, keep killing it, man. Always
Thanks, buddy. You too.
see ya.
See ya.